Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Formula Vee for another track guide, this time at Oran Park G.P, using the fixed rookie setup. I have my brake bias at 4 clicks back from normal, so 65.5. You don't have to follow that, it's just what I like. If you're new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap, a breakdown, and we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and let's start the hot lap. Alrighty, let's start the hot lap. So smashing it down the main straight, as is our want. We're going to turn in at the end of the green wall, and we're going to keep it pinned flat. We're going to go through the first apex. Now as we move across the track, we brake up to about 80%, trail it off, drop it down to third, get on the gas nice and early. Don't hit the inside curb if you can avoid it. Back over to the left-hand side, but we're looking at those cones on the right-hand side coming up now. That's our braking marker up to about 70%. Trail it off, leave it in third gear. We're going to stay there. And again, the cones on the right-hand side, brake up to about 50%, get on the gas really early. It's going to send you out wide, a little bit slippy mid-corner. We're just going to do a lift through turn 6, just tiny little safety lift or confidence lift. Back to the outside again, and we're just doing a lift again through 7, back on the gas really early, making sure that you're cutting these corners. Back over to the right-hand side. Once we're in the dip, again we do a lift, really cutting the corners. You'll exit nice and wide. Straighten the course out here through 10 and 11, up to 4th gear, final braking marker in this dip, up to about 50%, drop it down to 3rd gear as you're coming back on the gas, exit nice and wide without hitting the wall, and we go over and across the line in a 1:17.545. Right, let's do the breakdown. Right, breakdown. Not going to take us too long, quite a short lap. Tricky to overtake around here. It's more or less all going to be done at turn 1. So we're absolutely flat. We're not necessarily needing to hit this apex here at turn 1. And we're going to straighten the wheel out, and we're going to brake aiming for the outside of turn, well, it's called turn 2, but basically we're just aiming at the middle of those ad hoardings up ahead. We brake up to nearly 80%, wipe all that speed off in the straight line. Now we're going to trail it off. We're leaving it in 4th gear. So if you remember, I don't like engine braking in the Formula Vee, and I'm quite decent at it, so try and get all your downshifting done only when you're ready to come back on the gas. So I'm still in 4th gear, still trailing off down to almost nothing. Now I blip, if you see here, so I'm still in 4th gear, but I'm coming back onto the throttle as I change it down to 3rd gear. That's what stops your rear locking up and you having all sorts of problems. It's very different to the other cars. You want to brake, get all the braking done. As you come back on the gas, that's when you downshift. Right, next braking marker is going to be these cones coming up on the right-hand side. So just before we get level with them, I brake up to about 75%. And again, I'm going to trail that off down to the apex, leaving it in 3rd gear. I get on the gas at the apex, so I'm actually on 100% gas nice and early on here. You don't want to hit that curb on the right-hand side because in the V, it just bounces all over. One more chance of you actually having an issue. Right, next braking marker again is going to be just before those cones on the right hand side, or just before the marshals on the left hand side, or should we say, yeah, these tires on the left. So we go through there, we brake up to about 50%. We're going to trail that off nice and early. We come off the actual brakes well ahead of the apex of the corner, and we start building back up on the gas. So once we get to the apex, we're actually already on 100%. So it's all about keeping the momentum in this car, especially around here. Right, we're going to go through the bridge, and we're just going to do a little lift as we come into the corner here, and then we get back on the gas nice and early. Over to the left-hand side, and this time we're going to do a bigger lift. So we get to the top of this little hill that we're on, do a big lift, almost down to what, 20%, 15%, and then once we are on this, or once we're absolutely cutting this corner, this is when we go back up to 100%. We're going to leave it there through this next part, back over to the right hand side, and once we're in the dip, that's when all the weight's going to be on the tires again, and we can really turn in with a lot of confidence. And once we do the turn in, we're going to come off the gas almost down to nothing, down to what, 16%. Then we get back on the gas once we are at the next curve here on turn 9. So we go flat. We're just obviously cutting the corners through 10 and 11. Final braking marker is in this little dip, so as we get down into the dip, get on the brakes up to about 50%, trail it off, and then as we trail it off, you'll see I'll pop some gas on. So I'm in 4th gear, I've already come up to 60% gas, and that's when I hit my button clutch and my downshift, drop it to 3rd, and immediately I'm up at 100%. Seems complicated, it's really not, it's just a late downshift. You should always be doing that in the V. Right, so that's the breakdown done. We have one final version coming up now with the driving line on. Without me talking, enjoy.